Friends, this is the story of an aging painter whose years may be advancing, but his interest in women continues to grow. Today's tale revolves around this eccentric and stubborn man. So without further delay, let's begin the story. At the start of the movie, we are introduced to a man named Pablo Picasso, a renowned artist known and admired by many. In the opening scene, Picasso is seen presenting his paintings to a group of military officers who praise his work highly. In the next scene, Picasso is at a restaurant, charming everyone with his talent. While there, he engages in conversation with two young women seated nearby, both of whom are passionate about art. Recognizing their interest, Picasso invites the two young women to visit his apartment to view his collection of paintings. The following morning, the women arrive at Picasso's home, where they find him rehearsing a play with his team. Picasso warmly welcomes them and leads them to his studio to showcase his artwork. During their visit, Picasso learns that one of the women will soon be returning to her home country, leaving the other, Francy, to stay behind. As they prepare to leave, Picasso tells them they are welcome to visit him anytime. From this point, the focus shifts to Francy, who is deeply impressed by Picasso. However, she is hesitant to get close to him, as she has heard unsettling rumors about how people who become involved with Picasso never remain the same. Despite her reservations, Francy eventually decides to visit Picasso again. When Francy arrives at Picasso's home, drenched from the rain, Picasso is delighted to see her. He offers her a towel to dry her wet hair, and while showing her more of his artwork, begins to draw closer to her. During this interaction, he kisses her, surprising himself at how happy she seems in his company. Following the liberation of Paris, Picasso becomes a celebrated figure in the city. While the townspeople regard him as a man of great character, Francy is torn between her love for art and her father's expectations for her to become a lawyer. Encouraged by Picasso, Francy decides to confront her father about her passion for painting. However, her father reacts angrily, scolding her harshly. Undeterred, Francy returns to Picasso the next morning. Overjoyed, Picasso takes her to his private studio and asks if she would consider living with him. Francy agrees, and Picasso begins preparing a place for her to stay. As Picasso sets up her bed, Francy starts changing her clothes, creating a romantic moment between them. The next morning, Francy tells Picasso that she knows about his many past relationships and how none of the women were willing to stay with him. Picasso reassures her, saying that she is different and that he no longer wishes to date anyone but her. In the subsequent scene, Picasso's wife is introduced. She is accompanied by their young daughter, though she remains unaware of Picasso's affair with Francy. This is because Picasso only visits his wife and child once a week. After this, we see another woman whose life was also ruined by Picasso. She is still waiting for him and lives in fear that Picasso might abandon her as well. Picasso takes Francy to his farmhouse, which is quite far from the city, and asks her to stay there for a few days. During this time, Francy begins to feel that Picasso might actually love her, but she also starts doubting him. One night, while Picasso is asleep, Francy tries to escape with her belongings. However, Picasso catches her and forcefully takes her to a church. There, he demands that she swear before God that she will always love him. This act oddly makes Francy happy again, and their relationship continues. Francy starts working alongside Picasso, which brings him more opportunities. At night, Picasso teaches Francy painting techniques. Over time, Francy gives birth to Picasso's child, and they settle into a life together. However, on Sundays, Picasso visits his first wife and daughter, leaving his first wife believing that she is still his true love. During a holiday break, Francy meets Picasso's first wife, who tells her that Picasso loves her the most and warns Francy not to interfere. While living with Picasso, Francy encounters other women who had been used and abandoned by him, yet she still desires to be his favorite. Picasso, however, was generous with all his wives, providing them with money and fulfilling their wishes, which prevented them from being angry with him. After meeting so many of Picasso's wives, Francy feels happy, but remains anxious that Picasso might leave her as he did the others. To secure her independence, she begins painting and earning money, especially since she is pregnant again. Picasso then travels to Poland for 3 weeks and asks his assistant to send a letter to Francy. However, Francy realizes the letter was not written by Picasso. When Picasso returns, Francy confronts him and slaps him for the deception. Yet, Picasso, knowing how to charm her, wins her over, and she continues to live happily with him. Picasso starts a new venture, combining poetry with his artwork, which excites him. A young woman begins working with him, causing Francy to grow increasingly worried. Picasso starts coming home late, leading to arguments between him and Francy. It is revealed that Picasso has fallen for a new woman named Jacqueline and spends most of his time with her. Suspicious of Picasso's actions, Francy confronts him, but he lies, saying he is traveling to Paris for work, while in reality, he is with Jacqueline. After Picasso's departure, Francy learns that her grandmother has become paralyzed due to an illness. Francy has to go to Paris. However, as soon as she arrives, her father informs her that her grandmother passed away the previous night. After this, Francy meets an old friend in Paris. She shares her intention to find Picasso, and together they begin their search for him. When Francy finally sees Picasso, she notices he is flirting with a new woman. Later, Francy confronts Picasso alone outside a restaurant and tells him about her grandmother's death. She also informs Picasso that she plans to stay in Paris with her children. In response, Picasso coldly remarks, "You can do whatever you want." The next morning, Picasso warns Francy, "You won't be able to survive without me. Once I leave, no one will buy your artwork." But Francy, already prepared for this, decides to leave. As Francy prepares to go, Picasso, for the first time in his life, begins to cry. She then reveals to Picasso, "This was just an experiment. I'll stay in Paris for a few days and then return home." When Francy returns home from Paris, she learns that Picasso and Jacqueline are now living together. Sometime later, Picasso approaches Francy again, but she is no longer open to his advances. Picasso then suggests, "At least we can remain good friends," to which Francy agrees. And with that, the story concludes. So friends, that's all in today's video. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, peace out.